Hey, we are live. We're winging it.
On this Saturday night.
We're winging
Saturday
it on
Night
a
Live.
Saturday Night Live with Andy and Shelly. I want to talk about needs a little bit and the benefit of communicating needs in a relationship. Me and Shell have been married now. How long, babe? Five
Since
months?
September 1st.
September, October, November, December, January. We've been married 5 months, and our communication has been getting better and better. We just had our, what do we call it, our pre-marriage counseling checkup today, with Preston Yoder. Preston and Liz Yoder, they do pre-marriage counseling, and they use the Prepare and Rich um, curriculum, and we went through that with them. And this was like the follow-up session to some of the pre-marriage we did before. And I think we would say one of the strongest areas that we improved in was communication.
Yeah.
And being more open and honest about what it is, and open, honest, and comfortable with sharing what we need in the relationship. Do you have any more thoughts on that, show, or does that kind of paint the picture well?
I think that paints the picture well. I think it's sharing. Well, it's being able to identify needs and then sharing them, and needs and thoughts and opinions and feelings and all that kind of stuff. I don't have needs.
Yeah. We, as we've been building all this awareness around needs and communication, we've discovered that Shelly doesn't have any. It makes relationship with her
totally independent.
It makes relationship with her really, really easy.
No, actually being able to identify the needs that I do have, or the wants that I do have, and share them in a way that is healthy.
Yeah.
And considerate of you has been really helpful, because then what's going on inside can be outside, and then you can talk through it.
Yeah. And just to be clear, Shelly has needs, and
I do have needs. I was being sarcastic.
We together have been becoming more and more
aware
of what she needs and what I need. Well, I mean, sure, I think there's part of all of us that wants to be like independent and, our own man, and be able to stand
that
our
life
own
wasn't that complicated
and that kind of thing. But I think there's a real beauty too, though, in having needs and being in a place where we cannot achieve certain things, or we cannot have a certain level of satisfaction in our lives, unless somebody else is willing to step into our world and meet the needs that we have. So I think, some of our coolest moments, I would say, in our relationship have been when one of us shares needs and the other person meets them, and it's like, thanks so much for doing this for me, or doing that for me, or being there for me, or spending quality time with me, or whatever it is. And the other person's like, oh my gosh, like, that's awesome that means so much to you, but this was a blast, like, doing this for you. Like, it was really cool. Like, I know there's been a bunch of different times where something will, transpire in our relationship, and I'm like, babe, thanks so much for doing that. And then you're like, oh, it was a pleasure. And I'm like, sweet, like, it's a win-win. So I think being honest about our needs, then gives the person in our life that we're relating to, and it's not just in, a marriage relationship. It could be at work, it could be parent-child relationship, it could be friends, whatever relationship you're in. Just being more aware of the needs you have and honest about communicating them can result in a much deeper level of satisfaction in the relationship, and also just much better communication.
Well, yeah, because you're actually communicating what's inside as well as outside, and sometimes it's what's inside that has a greater impact on the situation in general. Like, if
I need a whiteboard. Go ahead.
If it, I'm trying to figure out how to give like a practical example, just to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah.
Like, if I feel like we've been doing a lot of things that are really big on Andy's heart, and I really enjoy horseback riding, and But I know that you don't. Well, nobody likes sitting out in the cold watching something that they're not like. They don't know a lot. They don't know a lot about, but being able to ask
some people
you,
who probably would, but
being able to ask you to come watch me and stuff, and you say
yeah.
I'd enjoy doing that for you. Not necessarily that you would enjoy sitting out in the cold, but you would enjoy coming.
Yeah, and it was cool. It was cool to be there today. That was just like a actual practical.
That's like a really simple thing.
A practical application. I think
like I can let that sit inside and be like, Andy never does anything with me, and I always do all these things with him. You know, like I could have that. Not that that was like really happening, but things like that can, you know, after a while they can start to build that thought pattern can start to build up.
If you weren't honest about what you were hoping for from me, or needing from me, yeah. I think the quick diagram I was gonna just throw out there is like if you think about a heart, and you've only got, if you don't bring your needs to the table in the relationship, you're only bringing a certain percentage of your heart. So to really get 100% of your heart in the game, you also have to bring what you need into the relationship, and that's a motto that me and Shell came up with. I think early on in our dating was like, let's get.
Technically, I think it was you.
Was it me? Anyway, we came up with this motto. I came up with this motto, and it was, let's get in our relationship. Let's get 100% of Andy's heart in the relationship. Let's get 100% of Shelly's heart in the relationship, and let's get 100% of our Heavenly Father's heart in the relationship. So it's something that we try to practice. Sometimes we do better, sometimes not so good, but it's the thing that we are constantly trying to practice is 100% of ourselves in the relationship, and just being honest about needs really helps that. So wrapping it up, because we need to do things like eat supper and be done with this video. But I needed to share it with you because I'm excited about it, and I really believe it makes a big difference in relationships. Last thing to kind of wrap it up, how do you become aware of your needs? Because I would say that there's a lot of needs that we've had that we weren't even aware of when it came to working together.
Well, especially me, because I've lived 90% of my life without needs.
Can we reframe that and just say with the illusion that you don't have needs? Okay,
that's what I mean.
All right. Sometimes you make me wonder. Right. So anyway, if you want to build some awareness around needs, some great ways to do that are, I say it all the time, and I'll keep saying it till the day that I die. Looking at Myers-Briggs personality type is a great way to get in touch with some needs that your personality type might have. Strength Finders is another great one. It will show you what your top 5 strengths are, or your top 10 strengths are. And then also, depending how deep you dive into it, you can find out like what the needs of each strength are, and what you would need in the workplace, what you would need in a relationship, all of those cool things. And love languages is another great one. What do you need when it comes to people communicating well to you? What's your love languages, and what does it look like for what you need to be expressed in your relationships? Anything else, babe, you want to throw in there as far as tools for people to build awareness? Always coaching is a great way to figure out what you need. We are getting coaching around working together right now as well, which is bringing out some of this for us as well. Some awareness around needs. So.
Yeah, well, I think it's just taking time to think about things too. Like, if I think for me, practically, it's been just thinking like, why am I upset about something right now? Because it doesn't seem like there's something large that should be upsetting.
Your invisible needs.
It might have been like just asking that question, like,
why are you frustrated?
Why am I frustrated, or why am I angry, or why am I feeling this right now? Is it actually because of this annoying shelf in the cupboard that just fell down, or is it because of something else?
Yeah. And we've said it before in other contexts, but frustration is an awesome teacher. If you run into frustration, and it's not a bad thing. Frustration is a great thing to run into, because there's a lot that you can unpack about yourself and learn about yourself whenever you run into frustration. And there's also a lot you can unpack and learn about somebody else whenever you enter frustration. So frustration is not a bad thing; it's actually a good thing. I would say in some ways our level of frustration with each other has gone up to some degree, with more honest and open communication about our needs.
I don't know that it's gone up. It's just been recognized, which means then we can address it.
That might be a better way to say it. Instead of it being under the surface, it's just more in the ring, so to speak.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to take action on discovering more about your needs in a relationship, there's all those tools that I mentioned are a great way to do it. Coaching is also a great way to do it if you want to do some relationship coaching. I would love to do that with you. We would actually, if there's a couple out there who wants to do some coaching around any of the tools that we mentioned and relate with me and Shelly around that in some coaching sessions, we would love to do that for you as well. Just get in touch with us at ayoder@lionheartedcoaching.com, or just look at the links below the video and you'll see some other ways to get in touch with us as well. And we wish you guys all the best.
Have a great evening or night.
Evening, night, morning, day, whenever you watch this.
Yeah. Let's go eat some chow.
All right, we're going to go eat some chow. See you guys.
Love you guys.
Babe, this is the part where we turn it off. And I try to remember how.